Hi, Steve here. Whether you can see it or not, we're moving to a one-world government, a one-world order, a new world order, just like George Bush Sr. said back in his speech to the United Nations.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
And so many people have no understanding, but this will not be a good thing. And those globalists and Luciferians, they want you to believe it's going to be a good thing. When all of mankind joins together in one gigantic union of working together. Sounds good until you realize they're not working together for mankind, but they're working together to bring about the end of mankind. The people that ask, well, why would they do this? Won't they kill their own families and won't this destroy them? They say that about chemtrails. How do they protect themselves and their families then if they are part of this? They believe that the knowledge and the secrets that Satan has revealed to them will help them live for eternity on earth. They don't believe they'll be among the 95% of humanity that needs to be killed off in order not to drain away the resources of our planet. For them, the real education and programming of people in America alone is evidenced in our so-called education system. Google is taking over the classrooms. They give schools low-cost laptops and free apps so they can teach your children what they want them to know. Everything else is irrelevant. We're seeing the Googleification of classrooms. They enlist teachers and administrators to promote Google's products to other schools too. They directly reach out to educators to test their products and bypass senior district officials. Today, more than half the nation's primary and secondary school students, more than 30 million children, use Google education apps like Gmail and Docs. But what's the information they see? What is the information these students are learning? It's the world as Google defines it. And they can change history, they can change science, they can change anything they want to, as they see it.
Right, we're very good at detecting what's the most relevant and what's the least relevant. We're not arguing for censorship, we're arguing just take it off the page, right? Put it somewhere else, make it harder to find. It's a big problem in social media, in my view, because social media thinks in terms of links, not ranking. Right, and there's undifferentiated linking. Like I'm going to link to here and here, and all of a sudden they've discovered they think that what they think is a woman who's a passionate activist who's in fact a computer, right, run by the Russians or whatever stereotype you have.
Google is helping drive a philosophical change in public education. Face it, we're a tech-driven world now. And it's this technology that will be used in completing the plan to turn this earth into a one-world government. But it's all the data that's being collected about our every move.
Personal data collection is the key commodity. You are no longer an individual. You are a data cluster bound to a vast global network. Last year, the average American cast a digital shadow of over 2.3 gigabytes. What does that represent? Of course, there are credit cards, medical records, and reading habits, but a CTOS includes much more. Massive data silos track and sort every moment of your digital life, revealing how you think and what you believe. That information could be turned against you, not just to sell products, but to influence your worldviews. CTOS directly links your personal information to the physical systems you use every day, essentially providing a direct line to your bedroom laptop. Because all data is interconnected, from Nigerian email scams to hardcore pornography, online shopping to emergency services. It's all part of the same network. 10 years ago, one man shut down the entire Northeast from a central control room. Today, everything can be hacked. No one knows what part of the system will be exploited, but everyone agrees the next assault will do more than just turn out the lights.
It's all part of the plan that confirms the total and complete control this new world order will have over every one of us. Mark Zuckerberg testified before a joint Senate committee as lawmakers pressed him over his Chinese data sharing activities. Mark Zuckerberg has already outright lied to them, It's really a joke the way that lawmakers demand that social media companies be more transparent about the data they share, because they do what they want. And usually the motivation is simply money. But for the New World Order, it's control. Facebook has contracts with dozens of countries to provide data, and the ironic thing is, we give it to them. We tell them where we're at in real time at any given moment. We tell them what's going on in our personal lives and in our families' lives. The EU is set to slap fines on Google and Facebook. But does that really matter? They're just not going to stop. They just pay their fines and move on their merry way. So the politicians act like they're doing something to help the people, when really, they're not doing anything. But here is the real smack in the face. Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Twitter all work with the left-wing Southern Poverty Law Center. But this isn't about a political connection. It's about a New World Order connection. I know most people have never even heard about the SPLC or even what it does. It's a globalist organization funded by one of the biggest globalists on earth, George Soros. The Southern Poverty Law Center helps Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Twitter determine what organizations are hate groups, according to their definition. Amazon, the company you order everything from, they gave the SPLC the most direct authority while pretending to remain unbiased. The Southern Poverty Law Center, so-called, has been plagued by inaccuracies, but they don't mind lying and giving out false propaganda. The SPLC accused Facebook in May of not doing enough to censor anti-Muslim hate on their platform. Of course, they didn't disclose the fact that they have a working partnership with Facebook. Amazon even removes organizations that the SPLC deems as ineligible. Twitter lists the SPLC as a safety partner, working with Twitter to combat hateful conduct and harassment. Free speech advocates have criticized it as Orwellian, because it is. Because it's all part of shaping things into the image of the New World Order. Google uses the SPLC to help police hate speech on YouTube as part of YouTube's Trusted Flagler program. Dr. Ben Carson, the neurosurgeon who is now the Secretary of the Department of Housing and Urban Development, he was surprised to find out in February of 2015 that the SPLC had him placed on an extremist watch list for his conservative beliefs. Carson was on the list for 4 months, but after all the backlash, SPLC finally removed him from the extremist label. But here's one of the biggest connections of the move to a New World Order. A one-world government, a one-world religion, already in relationship with the other globalists. The Bilderberg meeting, which features dozens of globalists from all over the world, and this year the Vatican Secretary of State will take part in the Bilderberg Conference. His participation in the meeting has not been officially announced by the Vatican, but he'll be there. You might ask yourself, what does the Vatican or religion have anything to do with all these New World Order globalists meeting? If you're going to control the world and all the people, you need to include all of the religions of the world. How close are we to getting to a one-world government? Well, this is the first time a high-ranking Vatican official has ever been to the Bilderberg Conference. According to the group's official website, about 2/3 of the participants come from Europe and the rest from North America, and 1/3 are political figures or government officials. This globalist New World Order agenda goes back in time for centuries. This year's meeting is set to discuss populism in Europe, the challenges of inequality, the future of work, artificial intelligence, U.S. midterm elections, free trade, U.S. global leadership, Russia, quantum computing, Saudi Arabia and Iran, the post-truth world, and other current events. Let's look at each of these items in the agenda. These world leaders and elites are there to discuss populism in Europe, and I'm sure to discuss what they can do to stop it and break it up. It doesn't fit a globalist agenda. And then the challenges of inequality. They threw that in there to sound like social justice warriors, when in reality, they don't care a thing about equality. And then the future of work. They know that their robots and AI will be eliminating millions of jobs across the earth. U.S. midterm elections. They're going to discuss elections in the United States? Why would globalists from other countries care about that? They care about that because they want to know who they can have who agrees with their philosophy and agenda. Those are the politicians they'll get elected, and they'll have them in their back pocket. But here's the most disturbing of all on their listed agenda: the post-truth world. In other words, the world after the truth is squashed, and they determine the facts. This global shadow government is not so much in the shadow anymore, and they're becoming more transparent with their agenda because they know they control most people in this world, and they're powerless to stop them. The article says the Cardinals' participation in the Bilderberg Group could be part of a strategy of dialogue, the Holy See engaging with a small, influential elite group. It absolutely is a part of a strategy that's being set for the Antichrist. All you have to do is look around you, and you can see the Bible prophecies of the one world government is on its way. But so will the King of Kings and Lord of Lords be on his way to clean up after the greatest horror that mankind has ever seen during the Great Tribulation. Under the rule of this man of perdition, the man of sin, the Antichrist, it's time for you and I to choose a side. Either Jesus is Lord or the New World Order and the Antichrist. Time is shorter than most people think. Think about it. Hi, Steve here. I just want to say a special thank you to all of my supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. I really appreciate your gifts, your support, your kindness, your generosity. I really appreciate you, and I just want you to know that. Thank you so much for helping me to continue to supply the videos and the website information on Think About It. Thanks so much.